Hello class, welcome to ET 5043, Technology, Curriculum, and Planning. I'm Dr. Fisher. You can also call me Dr. Fish, and I will be walking you through the next few weeks of this particular course. The one thing I definitely want you to pay close attention to every week, actually two things. Number one, the announcements, but then number two, the emails that I sent out, okay? Please make sure you pay close attention to them, and especially in the announcement. Let me go to the announcements link. So I put up already 4 different announcements. You definitely want to look at the urgent reminders. That has to do with policies, that has to do with plagiarism, which is very important. You want to pay close attention to that. Pay close attention to the due dates, and especially in the last week when once the class closes, we cannot, by policy, I cannot accept anything past the closing of a course after a due date unless you're dealing with extenuating circumstances. You can read more about, I think I did put like maybe a short blurb in the announcement on extenuating circumstances. Let me click here. This is the announcement for this week. So let me just kind of, like I said, this is what I was talking about. Read everything. There's my cell phone number. Texting me is probably the best way, to be honest, to get hold of me, and I'll get back with you. There will be a weekly video announcement. I highly recommend. I also send this in an email that you open it up just like you're watching the video now. Then that you watch that video, because the one piece that is extremely important is I'm going to go over whatever that module major assignment is. Typically it's going to be a papers, which is what I'm getting ready to show you in just a second. All right, so this week, this is what we're focused on: analyzing current practices and learner needs. These are all the items you want to go through. Watch the due dates. This is what I was talking about, like your late policy. Read that. And then that urgent note there about after the last day of class, unless you're dealing with extenuating circumstances. So how do we define that? Go to the syllabus and scroll down, and you will see the section on extenuating circumstances. Hopefully you won't encounter anything like that. Academic dishonesty as it relates to plagiarism, ACE is very serious about that. So you want to make sure your Turnitin score is below 20%. All right. So there are other announcements you need to look at too. You want to meet with me. You won't see that announcement yet until the second week. So we'll just hold off on that one. When it comes up, then you can open it up. But right now it's not open yet. If you're confused about database research, as far as doing research, as far as pulling scholarly sources from the ACE library database, I have a video for that. It walks you through. It's very simple. I keep it very easy. There's some key things you need to do, because I've had students throughout the years here at ACE who are totally confused about, how do I pull, information from the database. For that matter, I even show you a little tip of how you can even pull your APA reference citation that is provided for you, okay, as it relates to the scholarly sources. And then other urgent reminders, you want to look at that. So let me go to the modules, and let me focus on, as always, every week, the big kahuna, which is the analysis, or whatever that is, that major assignment that you have to do, aside from all the other things you have to do, discussions and presentations. But that sets you up to get to this point right here. So in this assignment, in a nutshell, I'm going to show it to you right here. Basically, you are going to develop an evidence-based technology integrated curriculum unit on a topic appropriate to a particular audience, a target audience. And so these are the steps here that you'll do this, okay? Step 1, you're going to select 3 examples of technology integrated curricula. Step 2, then you'll describe the target audience. Step 3, you'll access the technology integrated curriculum template, and I'll show that to you in just a second. It's on the objects page, but I'm going to show you something that I actually did for you. Hopefully you'll thank me. All right. And then step 4, you'll analyze the findings from those 3 different templates that you fill out. You have to actually create, you have to fill them out. And let's see, you have to use the information in steps 1 through 4 to, in a nutshell, they're just wrapping it up, to develop a 2 to 3 page paper. Keep in mind, 2 to 3 pages, that represents the body of this paper. That does not include the cover page, which you will have a cover page, and it does not include your references page, which you will have a references page, and it does not include the 3 appendixes, pages rather, that you will include. It's going to be 3 of them. Now, that's great. That sounds wonderful, Dr. Fish, but I need to see it. And if you're like me, I'm visual. I'm a visual hands-on learner. So let me show you and this is why it's so important to look at the weekly announcement. Let me say this. Let me put this disclaimer for those of you who had me in the past and you know it's a routine. I normally will give you a sample paper that you can use as a guide to successfully complete your paper. Unfortunately, I don't have sample papers for this course. Why? Because the curriculum has changed. The instructions have changed. The assignment itself has changed. The whole course actually was revised. So basically, to replace the sample paper, here's what I've done for you. I gave you a template. This is a Word doc. Now, we can talk more about it later. If you're using Chrome, that can create a problem for you because you can't download Microsoft Office, which is Word, using Word on your computer on a Chromebook. Can't do that. Chrome doesn't allow it. But you can use Office 365 online. If you don't have an account, we can discuss that later. That will actually come in another email soon. I'm sorry, not email, but you'll see it in an announcement as it relates to setting up an Office 365 account, and for that matter, using Microsoft Word effectively, which is a key word online, because a lot of students, once again, don't know how to use it online. Now, here's a template, and I've already set this thing up for you. All you got to do is come in here and replace, type your name, type the date. It's simple. It's not hard. And then scroll down. And of course, you definitely want to go ahead and save it. Now, let me say this up front. Again, for those of you who know me, I am huge on APA formatting. Okay, it's very important that you include all the pieces that APA requires, such as page numbers in the upper right-hand corner, such as line spacing, which I've already put this in here for you. Let me show you what the line spacing should look like in a paper, okay? It should look like this. I'm going to go to the paragraph settings real quick, open it up. Before and after should be 0, line spacing should be double. It should be just like this. This is the correct way of doing line spacing as it relates to double spacing, which is what APA requires, okay? Any other way, like if you got another number in here, you got 12 or 8 or in either before and after, it's not going to be consistently double spaced. It will be incorrect. So yes, I'm big on that because I really want to help you as you move forward through these classes. So, but again, in this template, it's already there, so you don't have to worry about that. Page numbers are already there. Your margins are already set at 1 inch. Things that you should already know, by the way. But here's the thing that's really important to me. Remember this, because APA requires it. Headings, okay? You need to include headings in your paper, okay? And so there are only, for this particular paper, there are only 3 headings that I saw based on the instructions. It's 3 headings. Really, it's more than, I take that back. It's more than 3. It's 3 in the body of the paper, to be concise. So it's 3 headings in the body of the paper, and then you have your references heading, and then you have 3 appendix headings further down, and I'll show you that in just a second. So let's go back here so you can see where I am. So they're telling you basically you're going to select 3 examples of technology integrated curricula used in your organization or an organization of your choice in the event you're not working or whatever the case may be if you're not in a school district, which is totally understandable. So I put the same thing that you see there right in here. And I'm telling you what I want you to do. I want you to elaborate in paragraph formatting. Pretty much in the body of this paper, everything is going to be in paragraphs. Do not use bullets. Do not use numbering. Just paragraphs. So they want you to elaborate on the 3 examples of technology integrated curricula used in either your organization or a particular organization of your choice. You know, you select whatever it is that they use and you're going to elaborate on that. All right. Now, it's 3 of them. Keep that in mind. So you need to be clear, like in that first paragraph, boom, you're telling me right off the bat, whatever that particular example of technology integrated curricula is, tell me whatever the name is, whatever it is, you tell me right off the bat in the first sentence of that paragraph. And then in the next paragraph, you tell me about the next technology integrated curricula. And then in the third, so obviously, you're talking about 3, well, it could be all in one paragraph. Technically, it could be, all right? I don't have a problem with that, but that heading, just like I'm giving you an example of what a heading should be for that particular paragraph, examples of technology integrated curricula. Simple, okay? Notice the heading is upper lowercase, it's bold, and it's centered. All the headings in this paper, they are level 1. They are centered, in other words, just like you see it here. So all you got to do is come in here once you read this and you figure out, okay, I got it. I think I understand what Dr. Fish wants. All you got to do is come in here and just highlight and delete this information that I put in here. But make sure you pay attention to the note. A paragraph should be at least 5 or more sentences. That is an APA requirement, by the way, okay? Now, 3 lines to me is not a paragraph. I'm just going to be honest. That's not going to get it. So I'm giving you a hint. All right. So just make sure. And this would be a good example of a paragraph here. But I would like to see a little bit more than this. If you're talking about 3 different examples, we want to see some elaboration. All right. And I'm going to show you something about the rubric in just a second, because we always tell our students to pay attention to the rubric. But hey, we as educators, I want you to pay attention to the rubric. There's one piece in there. Actually, you want to look at the whole thing, but there's one piece in there I'm gonna point out in just a second. Target audience. So read this. It's telling you how to talk about that target audience once again in paragraph. See that right there? Formatting. That's what I want to see. All right. No bullets, no numbering. I want paragraphs. I want to hear your voice. Okay. And then evaluation and analysis, which is the last heading in the body here, of course. Now, they talk about, and this may trip some people up, but let me see if I can make this clear. Right here in step 3, it tells you to access the technology integrated curriculum, current practices, and need analysis linked in the learning objects page. So when you get there and under, like if you go to modules and you see learning objects, you'll see it under learning objects, and this is what it looks like. If you're wondering, this is the template that they are talking about. So they want this template, they want you to fill it out. You got to do how many of these templates? 3 of them. All right, so they want you to do 3 of them, and those 3 down here, they tell you need to put them right there. It tells you the 3 completed analysis templates as appendixes. You see that? So this right here, when you complete the 3, they need to go under the appendix section, Appendix A, Appendix B, and Appendix C. So let me go back to the paper. So that's the first part of this. So you can actually, before you even start filling in the paragraph here, you got to do the 3 templates first. Watch this. Look at what I did for you. That's why I said you'll thank me later. Watch this. Notice where we have references, So let's say your body page ended there. Then the next page is the references. And your references are, you should have double spacing, hanging indentations. If you don't know how to do that, let me know. Watch this. I'm going to scroll down. After the references page, notice what I put in here. It's the same thing. It's this template right here. You don't need that. You really don't need, the directions, all right? Notice I just put it in here, Appendix A, and I put this heading, and I kept going. And then the next one, keep going, Appendix B, see that? And then you keep going, and then Appendix C. So they are all there. Everything you need is right there in this one template, this one document, basically, that I gave you. It's already there. All you got to do is fill it out. Once you finish filling out all three, let's go back to where we were. Once you do that, and notice I even put that in big, bold, upper. Hey, now I'm not screaming when I said note. In other words, pay attention. Please include the three templates under the appendix section. Because the reason why I said that is because oftentimes students put the appendix in the wrong place. And in this case, I guarantee you, somebody who doesn't watch my video and they don't pay attention to my instructions, and that hurts my feelings. If you don't do that, watch what happens. You're going to end up losing points. You'll put the appendix in the wrong position in the paper. So I don't want that to happen. That's why I took the liberty of going ahead. I said, let me go ahead and do this. Let me transfer and let me copy and then paste it over. And I pasted it into this document. So you got all three of them right there. All you got to do is just fill them out. Okay. Now they will stretch out, especially if you start elaborating a whole lot. They're going to stretch out a little bit more, but that's okay. But make sure that, let's say after you finish A, which this shouldn't stretch that far, unless you really got a whole lot to say. It probably won't go that far. But I was going to say, make sure that when you come to Appendix B, like after you finish A, because it may kind of bump some things down. When you get to here, make sure Appendix B is at the top of this page. You see what I'm saying? And then when you finish B, make sure, come all the way down here, C is at the top of the page. Because as you start filling out information on A, and if you start stretching these cells out a little bit more, what happens is you're moving lines down. And when you move lines down, that means this may get bumped down a little bit. So make sure it stays at the top of the page. It's just something I want you to note, to pay close attention to. Now, once you finish filling out the three templates down there, you come back up here. All you got to do, highlight all this information and delete it and start typing what I'm saying right here. In this section of your paper, you will evaluate and analyze the curriculum you selected, the three, in paragraph formatting. Once again, I have to say that, to determine what? Two things. It's actually two things you're going to do in this paragraph. Strengths and weaknesses, well, really three. Strengths, weaknesses in each curricular example, and here's the other thing, provide an overview of how well technology is integrated in the organization's curricular offerings. That, in a nutshell, is what you are doing. Now, references, once again, make sure you use scholarly references. So let me go to, pay attention to, please, look at this rubric very closely. Okay, read everything in this rubric. If this is where you want to land, right in here, read all of this. And I want you to notice something. Words like scholarly, variety of scholarly references. All right, now variety does not mean two. Okay, that's not variety. Three is really not variety. Okay, we want to see citations and references, scholarly, throughout the body of your paper. Even though it is only, it says it in the instructions up there, this is only the body is only 2 to 3 pages. But still, that does not include, once again, you still got to have a cover page, and you got to have a references page, and then you're going to have 3 appendices pages. All right, so you'll end up with far more than 3 pages, but that's just counting the body. All right, just so you know that. But again, I want to see a variety of scholarly sources. okay, in this throughout the paper. I want to see citations, and of course, for each citation, you got to have a reference for it, okay? Unless, like if you use that citation more than one time, but still, you want to use a variety, and variety is key here. So again, pay close attention to the rubric. Pay close attention to what you see right here in this basically template that I gave you, and I gave you headings that you can use. I mean, it's pretty much laid out for you. All you got to do is put the content in here, okay? And like I said, make sure you fill out everything, all the information that they're asking you for down here for the technology integrated curriculum. And it's 3 different ones, not 3 that are the same, obviously. All right, so bottom line is this: if you have any questions, I think I covered all bases. Any concerns for me, let me know. This week I'm going to be kind of out of pocket for the most part, and I will give you the contact information of my boss who will step in for me. And I'll send you an email to let you know more about that. But bottom line is, I think you should be right on target as far as completing this assignment successfully. If you want to run your paper by me early, well, I don't want to say this week. Starting next week, let me say that if you want to run your paper by me early, that would be great, so I can look at it before you submit it, but not this week. Like I said, I'm gonna be out of pocket, so I don't want to make a promise that I can't fulfill. All right. So if you have, once again, any questions, any concerns about this particular paper, and let me say this, I don't know if I mentioned it. So under the announcement, if you're wondering, well, where's that template that you talked about? It is attached right there. There it is. So it's a Word doc, like I said, and you should not have any issues with, completing this assignment. All right. So any questions, any concerns? I'll say this at least. Any questions, any concerns? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Those are the days that you definitely want to ask me questions. Thursday through the weekend, I'll give you the contact information of my boss so you can contact her. Because again, I'll be out of the country during those days. I won't return until next Monday. All right. So if you have any questions, again, any concerns for me, let me know. I will chat with you soon.